Conor, a disappointing night, a 1-0 defeat. How do you feel after that one?
Awful. Put so much into the game over the 90 minutes and then just a sloppy goal at the end just cost us the point in the end.
Yeah, it's been a feature of the group of players. The manager's spoken plenty about the character and the desire and work rate. We weren't short of any of that. And the goal we conceded, it's just a deflected shot in the end after seeing out so much pressure. Did you feel after seeing out that big amount of pressure Derry had, maybe we were going to get a point?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we had all the characteristics of like hard work and things like that, but maybe just lacked a bit of quality in the final third. They probably had that. Goal just comes from a sloppy mistake from me, to be honest. And then obviously the deflected shot nearly hit bounce out the post, whatever. Still, just can't happen at this level. So disappointing that way. But the lads gave everything, like just a silly mistake at the end, really.
Having said all that, as a group of players, there's been plenty of ins and outs over the course of the season. A new bunch of players to come away from Talca tonight having lost 1-0 to Derry, who are challenging for league titles. Is that any consolation?
No, because they're kind of setting standards of like, competing against these teams and taking points off these teams, especially when they come to Talca. Like, so it's disappointing. Whenever you lose a game, it's disappointing. But the standards we set just makes it even more pronounced.
For yourself, we're talking about work rate and energy levels. Playing that position, it's a demanding position to play in. Do you feel you're starting to grow into the role a little bit more now?
Yeah, I've been kind of used to playing it since maybe last year. So obviously Gaffer gives me license to go up and down, which I have the energy and fitness I think to do that. So probably just have to add a bit more quality in the final third and defensively as well, have to improve as well. So yeah, I'm still loving it though, yeah.
Is there much difference with this type of formation the Shels are playing this year compared to what you would have played in last year?
Yeah, there's a lot more detail in it and a lot more kind of ways of getting on the ball and stuff like that. Last year maybe it was just kind of like just run up and down kind of thing. Now it's just you kind of learn how to pick up certain positions and pick up the ball and stuff like that.
As disappointing a result as it was, you still need to dust yourselves down, get in, train and prepare for another massive game when you come back next week.
Friday, yeah, so we're in on tomorrow morning, yeah, so we have to recover tomorrow and then dust ourselves down for Friday now. Obviously the game's on the box, so it's going to be a big game for us and we're all going to be looking forward to that. But you have to, as you said, you have to dust yourself down and react quickly.
The season as a whole, as it's panned out, we've left ourselves in a position where we're more so looking up the table rather than what's behind us, and obviously the manager's spoken plenty about hoping for a cup run. That draws tomorrow, maybe a nice little distraction for you tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully a good draw, but to be honest, we fancy ourselves against anyone really, but as you said, we're looking up rather than down, but we still have to start. We'll keep picking up points, tipping away at them to make sure we're still looking up at the end of the season.
Brilliant, thanks Conor.
No bother.
Damien, a 1-0 defeat, a late goal. How do you sum up the game and the performance?
I thought there was a real flatness about us. Bizarrely all night I thought we recovered well. I did think before the game. After Bonagee obviously made changes for Bonagee, fresh legs coming out. Tonight was if they were maybe a bit undercooked. I'm not sure, but did we deserve to win the game? Absolutely not. Did we deserve to draw the game? Maybe not. So we didn't keep the ball well enough all night. Didn't create. We created next to nothing in the final third. And listen, Derry, they're a good team. We know that. A lot of quality in the team. Bodies on the line all night. Listen, I can't really complain about the results. The deflection. You know.
Yeah, for us maybe not being at it, it must be a good consolation that we're still mixing it with teams like Derry. We've mixed it with everybody this year. Nobody has really outclassed us for the majority of games. We've always been in and around games. That must be a consolation for you.
Yeah, listen, for sure, but listen, we know we can beat anyone, Stephen. Tonight they're obviously the better team. Anyone who was at the game, better team first half. I think they played through us a few too many times, changed their shape a bit and how we pressed. For the second half I thought they run out of ideas. They obviously bring Duffy on. He's a world beater in this league. Although, listen, the goal comes from Graydon, who has done markedly well at Derry since he's gone. So, yes, listen, we know we can mix it with anyone. It's a consolation, not really now. The lads are on the floor, but as I've said before, they're really good at picking themselves up and going again, and they'll have to on Friday. They're live on TV.
Is that the difference, do you think, that bit of quality that Derry especially could bring on late in the game? As you say, maybe a couple of tired bodies and that, and they're able to bring on a player like Michael Duffy with half an hour to go?
Yeah, listen, they've obviously got a bigger squad and a lot of quality through it, but listen, I love my guys to the bits. We obviously bring a different profile of player on. Gavin Hodgins hopefully have a great future at Shels. Jad still struggling with an injury, so not moving probably particularly great. So yeah, you can argue, okay, they bring on Duffy, but listen, I think we've got so much quality in our squad, in our team, and what we said to them at half time was they were playing without a real belief as well. We obviously changed a few things, but I thought they lacked belief tonight. Didn't back themselves enough with the ball, without the ball, with their press. They're always a half a yard too late. But listen, we'll park it, we'll dust ourselves down. We'll obviously look back at the game first, but we have to get ready quick. Friday will come round shortly.
Just looking forward to the end of the season and maybe towards next season. You spoke there about Gavin Hodgins and Jada Kiki, and obviously Stefan Negru played on Friday night. Are you happy with the progression of those young players this year?
Yeah, listen, Steph made his debut the other night. A proud moment for him and his family. But listen, you can't rely on kids, you know, it's a big boy league as well. So we've obviously had some unfortunate injuries, suspensions, etc. along the way. We've obviously let a couple go, in Sean McSweeney, Adam Thomas, which I stand over, even though we're light now. I thought it was the correct decision. So yeah, listen, they're ones for the future. I really feel for Jad, because he can't, I guess, give the best version of himself at the minute, because he's playing through aches and pains. So listen, we need to get him sorted soon. But no, there's an awful lot of quality in the team and in the squad, and more will be brought in, I'm sure.
Just looking forward to the Dundalk game on Friday. Is it just a case of, as you say, dusting yourself off in the next day or two and just get back on the horse and go looking for 3 points again on Friday?
Yeah, of course. They've always been good at that, the lads. They were downbeat or feeling sorry for themselves, they just bounce back, so I'm expecting that. I'm hoping that for Friday. They're down to the bare bones. I think another sending off from tonight, a good few injuries. Like us, bare bones stuff, and I feel as if we owed them one up there. We were down to 10 men, should have won the game. I was sent off, poor refereeing decisions all night, so if you can say we owed them one, or owe a team one, it's definitely for sure up in Oriel Park.
Brilliant, thanks Damien.
Cheers, thank you.
Full time in Talga Park, a 1-0 defeat, fell to a late goal. There will be no podcast this week. A quick turnaround, obviously a Monday night game ahead of Friday. Probably won't get time to put a podcast out. So joining me is Adam Leonard, who made his men's commentary debut. How did you get on?
Yeah, it was grand. I think overall the result is a bit deflating, so it kind of puts a dampener on things. But overall, it was good experience to get going, and yeah, really enjoyed it.
You're impartial though up there, aren't you?
I have to be.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be. Just on the game itself, I know it's difficult when you've been commentating on it. It's kind of hard to get a feel for the game, but we were in it for major parts of the game. We didn't look outclassed. Little moments for Derry maybe of bit of quality, like players Brandon Kavanagh, who are probably a class above, but it's probably encouraging from our point of view that we're mixing it with teams like this.
Yeah, I think even I remember Kavanagh coming here with Bray last season, didn't he? And he banged 2 in against us, and it was a 3-3 draw, I think, that day. But yeah, look, I think there was a part of the game, maybe about 10 minutes, where they were on top of us, but we dealt with it well. We limited Akintunde, which is their top scorer, to very little. Look, they bring on the big man King Kavanagh up front, and you're looking at him, he looks big from up there, and that's a hard thing, you know what I mean? Michael Duffy, as you said to Duffer there, coming on 30 minutes to go, they have got that artillery at their disposal, and I think it's fine margins against it, you know what I mean? It's very unfair in a way that it's a deflected goal, it's off Luke Bourne, it goes in. Clarkey was immense tonight, he made 4 or 5 saves, and from that side of performance I probably we deserved the draw, but I think going forward we maybe lacked a little. Yeah,
it was funny, as I was watching the game, I thought we looked good and we looked lively and we were hungry and getting to balls, but speaking to the manager there afterwards, he seen it fairly differently. He thought we were sluggish, and look, it's a quick turnaround from Monday. Is it an excuse? It's probably not. I mean, when you think Derry have to travel down today, they played at home on Friday, it is a long journey, especially midweek, traffic, all that kind of stuff comes into account, but as a group we were on a bit of a high coming into the game from Friday. There was obviously changes again. You're saying there about the artillery they can bring into the game. On the flip side of that, we were on Gavin Hodgins, who is a young player, a great prospect, but it probably shows where we are compared to Derry at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that's fair enough. Like, you look at Gavin Malloy starting today as well, you know, Stephen Negru making his debut last week. I think Lewis Temple made his debut out in Bray. Like, for instance, Duffy, you can't fault him for getting the youth involved, and really backing them. I think Malloy, since he's come in, has been imperious. He's really done very well. Just going back to the kind of short over tournament fixtures, I think that goes back earlier in the season. I think we won at Derry away on the Good Friday. I think we had Bows on the Monday.
Yeah.
And obviously Bows came here and they done what they did to us, and you're kind of looking at that, maybe that's a problem, but that could come down to squad depth as well. And I don't think we're that far off, because I think these young players are very good. The likes of Moyle and McManus, I think these are very good players, and I don't think we're a million miles away from them. At the end of the day, it's a deflected goal that gets them the win, and maybe they deserved it, but if it had been a 0-0 draw, I don't think there would have been too many complaints.
Yeah. Again, just talking about individual performances tonight, Conor Kane, I thought was excellent, and I kind of tried to give him a bit of credit in his post-match interview, and he was very critical of himself. Said, "Well, I gave the ball away for the goal." Probably says a lot about the attitude of the players, really, doesn't it? That's where their minds go to.
Well, I think to be fair,
1 second, Johnny.
I think you can't fault the lads for their application.
That's just Johnny Watson there, not realising you're recording something. But as always, sorry, Adam,
you can't fault the lads for their application tonight. I think, and it's been a theme throughout the season where, like you said, Duffer, we haven't been played off the park once really. I think in every game there's been a few individual errors, but like you're talking about individual performance tonight, I keep saying it, Clarkey was unbelievable tonight. I thought Luke Bourne dealt very well with Akintunde's tray. Conor Kane on this side, there was a few times where I was up on the gantry and I was fuming because he had so much space on this left side, and it was Ronan Boyce who came on. He was good for the goal as well, but you were saying to yourself, get it to Kane, let him get a run on him, and he was very good in the first half. He had good delivery in the first half as well, but again, it's just it's fine margins, isn't it?
Gone down to Dundalk now Friday. Again, all the talk is looking up. It hasn't been. Damien mentioned it there in the press huddle that these are his words, not mine. We're as good as safe. It's nice to look up the table. 4th spot now. Pat's got to win tonight. 4th spot maybe just beyond us, but what is tomorrow is the cup draw. What are we looking at? What's the ideal draw? Curse us now and give us the ideal draw.
Do you know what? I kind of, you see, there's 8 teams have gone through, and we're, I'd say, the 4 of a second batch along with UCD, 3 and Waterford. The teams will want us, and I love that. I think there's an element of the cup that's magic where anything can happen, and especially in Talca Park. I'd love one of the big boys. Now, maybe I'm saying that to jinx that we get someone small, maybe, but I would love Bows at home. Throw them out of the cup. That'd be great. It'd be a great occasion here, or if he was in Damien, it'd be great. But looking at the likes of Waterford and Tree, you would really be hoping for one of them.
Duffer seems to love the siege mentality. He loves the us against them. We seen him last Friday here. He thoroughly enjoyed his little trot along the riverside. And do you think a team like this is set up for a cup run? That whole us against the world, and nobody wants us to win a cup. And look, you can be sure if we got to a cup final against a Derry or something, everyone would say, "Oh, it'd be a great fairy tale for Derry." There'd be no mention of us. Nobody wants us to win the cup. There's not a single neutral in the entire country that wants Shels to get to a cup final. Do you think that'll motivate the players on to get one?
Well, I think that's the thing as well. I remember Dundalk, they had horrible things to say about us when we went up to Derry and won. They had the same things. I think it was dark arts and stuff like that. We know about the other Dublin teams. They don't like us, but that's what you want. You know what I mean? That's what you want as a club. And yeah, I think the siege mentality, and you see Duffer loves it as well. You know what I mean? I think I love now in football. You can't celebrate anything. You know what I mean? I remember he runs across the pitch and gives it to the crowd, and the whole thing is, they're celebrating a draw against the big club and all this. Like, you can celebrate anything. It's football. It's to be enjoyed, and the passion he shows week in, week out tells you he wants to be here. And I'd absolutely love it if we got to a cup final. That's what my main hope is this season, Steve.
We'll leave it there. A disappointing night. Nevertheless, dust ourselves off, back on the horse, and we'll see you at Dundalk on Friday.